hello to everyone who's having the Ribera problem right now. Welcome to the club. Over the last 3 or 4 months or so, or at least since May, a lot of us have been having issues. Specifically, I can speak to the issues that we've had on PC. My understanding is that you've been having very similar problems across the different platforms, Xbox particularly, but so specifically for PC, this is going to work. The other platforms, I'm not sure if this is going to be relatable or not. We'll take a look at this for the next few minutes, and I'll kind of talk you through what I understand from the struggles that we've had so far. Bit of clarification on my system on PC, just so you get an idea of the loading times, etc. I'm running a 10900K, 64 gigs of RAM off an NVMe drive with a 3090. So, I mean, this thing's a workhorse. But I'm going to go through the way that we typically get into the game is we fast forward through all of those intro screens, choose our game style, choose our profile, and get on it. And then it loads us into the lobby. So one of the things that we'll notice up here, if you've got a notification waiting up here, it's usually to say that you're online now, and any reasonable person would assume that this means that you're good to connect to your friends, good to go into the store, and do all the things. Well, because we've pushed ourselves through all of the intro screens and the time elapsed right now has been less than a minute, you're going to get this preparing session. And the preparing session is going to be irrespective of the system that you're on. It's essentially, this is you trying to connect to the servers. There is going to be a delay here. They've moved this legacy title, quote unquote, over to the hamster wheel or whatever Ubisoft's equivalent to a hamster wheel is. And there's no getting around it, guys. This is just, at least at this point, this is what we've been dealing with. As a matter of fact, this part of it's been an issue for the last year or so. So we sit through preparing session. Now, I will say this, if you start the game and take a break, like you just walk away, get a drink, pet the dog, whatever, for 3 or 4 minutes, you won't actually have this preparing session because whatever the services are that need to synchronize between your session and the server, that happens as soon as you load into the game. So whether you sit here and wait for a minute and a half or so, or you walk away for a minute and a half before and then load right into the game, doesn't matter. In the end, it just further reinforces the fact that things are out of sequence. They're out of the steps that you would normally think, i.e., you think you load into the game, you think you got an internet connection or a network connection to the servers, and you do, but the game's still not lined up. You still need 3 to 5 minutes, guys, before you start deciding whether or not it's working or not. And a lot of you, bless your hearts, and I've been a little bit snippy with some of you, and I apologize for that. A lot of you are still just acting like this is a normal game on a new server. It's not. It's it's a legacy game on a crappy server, and we need to take some time. So right now, if I try to go into the store, even though it says that online services are available, you're going to run into this synchronizing player profile. Now I'm sitting here talking and time is passing, but right now we're still not connected. We're still not going to be able to connect to our friends. So what I'm going to do now, and I might end up actually needing to fast forward this a little bit. I've got my alt account set up on my laptop computer that's sitting next to me, and you can see Sweetest is my alt character that my wife plays. Not she, but the alt account is just loading in right now. And now as I've been standing here for a little while, we're sitting here again. Let's go ahead and we'll try the store again. Notice how the store is loaded right up now. In a brief flash of synchronizing profile, and then we're loading into the store. Connections, good. Okay, so this tells me now that my server is actually lined up. It's synchronized, and now I should have less trouble connecting. So with that having been said, now I'm trying to connect to a friend who's just logging in right now, and we're going to have some problems with that because they need to have been in the game for at least the same amount of time, maybe a little bit longer before we're going to be able to connect. So right now on my alt account, I'm just clicking through the intro screens. It's telling me that I'm online and I'm available, etc. And I've clicked the profile, and now I'm in the lobby. So what you'll notice is I am in menus and unavailable because I'm between screens. And right now, NAT status is open, which is good. And I'm seeing in-game, I'm seeing on my alt account, I'm seeing that my main account, my Eno75 account, is in-game but unavailable. And clearly I'm in-game and available. But the problem is that my session and the session of my alt is not yet synchronized. And this is what people need to remember when they're trying to connect. So it needs to be communication between you and your friends. If you've just gotten into the game, just launch a solo session, and the processing or preparing session will take a minute. Once he's in game, he can say, okay, I'm in game now. What do you see? And from there, we can take a look at the lobby and interpret what the game is telling us. If your friend can't get into the store yet, he's not ready to receive an invite. More often than not, it helps to be able to, you can check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check with the store connection, see if your player profile is synchronized with the server. If you can get into the store, that's a good sign. Still preparing session. And let's take a look at the lobby. I might fast forward through this. Alt is loading in. And this is good. I mean, it's more time that my session has been loaded up, which is good. This just, again, continues on with that synchronization. My alt is now in game. And if I go into the lobby, I'm seeing my guy as in-game unavailable. So both are in-game unavailable to each other. Now I'm going to go ahead and without trying anything else, it says that this is grayed out. But if I go ahead and send the invite and ask my alt, or I take a look at my alt in this case, and I notice that I'm not receiving that invite yet. Why? Because he's not synchronized yet. If I go into my alt and try to get into the store right now, it says syncing player profile. Immediately, okay, and as I went into the store, it actually just synchronized player profile for about 5 seconds, and then it brought me into the store. Now if I go to invite, the invite comes straight across. I'm able to accept it on my alt, and in a moment you'll see my alt joins me in game. Guys, it for however long this was, it's good to give the game about 3 to 5 minutes to synchronize with the server before you try anything. The other thing that I want to add is joining versus inviting. The joining process, even if you're at this point of the game, if you try to join, quite often what we're seeing is that it will start looking like it's loading the game, joining so-and-so's team, and then it'll go so far as to say, to make it look like it's loading you into their game, and then it'll give you an error code that says the session's no longer available. Very frustrating. Just, I wouldn't join anybody. Unless both of you have been in game for like half an hour or so, or 10 or 15 minutes, I wouldn't even waste my time trying to join. I can't explain technically why it works like this, but I have been finding that if you send the invite out and your friend reports that they got the invite right away, then you're good. They can accept the invite. They're going to join you in game. You're going to be fine. If you send them the invite and it is delayed, they say, no, I don't have it yet, then that means that one of you hasn't waited long enough. And sometimes what can help to speed that along, as long as you've got a NAT status, it's anything but offline. So if this is strict, moderate, or open, this is now you're basically just waiting a couple of minutes for the servers to synchronize. If your invite is delayed, something that can work is changing your squad privacy, or not even changing it, just hitting squad privacy and accepting. And that can quite often bring a person to being not only just helping along with your invites, but it also end up saying in game and available if both you and your friends who are trying to get in game together do that. So that squad privacy, again, I don't know why it works, but it does. And beyond kind of an anecdotal standpoint, the few times that I've had trouble connecting through invitations with guys who have been in game for 3 to 5 minutes is that squad privacy just helps to push it over the edge. And I don't know why, but it's worked for us. Guys, I'm not sure if this is going to help anyone or everyone, but it's worked for us. We play a few times a week. It's always helped us, with the exception of um, since that Game Pass thing over the weekend. I mean, we had no NAT status. If your NAT status is offline, guys, it seems to be a server population issue. It seems to be that they've got a pool that's big enough for 40 people or however many the number is. And if there's 40 people online, then your NAT status is offline. Once that couple of people jump out of the pool and there's more room, now all of a sudden you're connected. But remember, connected doesn't mean that you're synchronized with the server. Connected just means that you have a connection to the server. You still need to wait that 3 to 5 minutes, guys. I wish you luck. I love this game. I know that it's worth it. You need to be patient. Leave some comments below on your experiences. If you got any other workarounds, please just leave them here. Good luck, you guys. See you on the other side.